everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Well, it's that time of year when you can go out to your car or look on your front porch and voila, there are zucchinis. People are growing them and they're starting to come to fruition. So what do you do about that? You make zoodles. So today we're going to make pesto and zoodles. And zoodles are zucchini noodles. So I'm going to start with the pesto. And this recipe is from Moosewood Cookbook. And we'll have a link to that site at the end of our video. We'll also have this recipe here at the library that you can come pick up. So pesto is typically made with basil, but you can make it with sun-dried tomatoes, with parsley, with fennel. You know, it's kind of a generic term for different ways you can make this. And it's a sauce or a spread. You could put it on pizza or pasta noodles. And this is parsley, which I cut from my garden this morning. And I also am looking for recipes that use things that you may be growing this time of year or that are easy to find. So this is Italian parsley, which has more flavor than that curly parsley. And this calls for 3/4 cup fresh parsley leaves packed. So we pack them in there. You see I'm just pulling off the leaves. It's okay if you get some of the stem in there. There we go. And this makes quite a bit, so you can freeze it, put it in little baggies and freeze it, or put it in ice cube trays and freeze it. So let's see. That looks about right. And you put it in a Cuisinart or a blender. And it calls for 3 cups fresh packed basil leaves. And I have basil growing at home, but it's slow this year. So I bought this at the grocery store, and it's one of those hydroponically grown basil plants. So I wanted to show you too that when you harvest basil, don't just pull the leaves off like this. You have to go down to a node, and I should have had my scissors ready, and pinch it off like so. And then pull the leaves off and put them in the cup. And again, here's the basil stem. You can go down and pull them off here. We'll probably use this whole plant, but when you have them growing at home, they'll continue growing and producing leaves if you trim them off at the node, which is this part right where the leaves branch off. So we pick these off, pinch them off, put those in our measuring cup. I wish you were here because it smells really fresh and summery in here. Well, we're going to end up pulling the leaves off with this one, so no biggie. There's always basil at the store, or if you're a good gardener, you can grow it pretty easily. Basil does like sun and heat, so our wet spring wasn't its favorite, but it's starting to come on now. And put the basil in the Cuisinart. There's 1 cup. I'm going to just pick off all the rest of this. If you want basil or pesto in the winter, you can buy it pre-made, but nothing's as good as fresh from the garden or the grocery store. All right, that looks good. And then we have 2 cloves of garlic. And one thing nice about this Cuisinart, you don't have to, finely chop it. You can cut it in bigger pieces and put it in there, and then you puree it so it it chops easily or really well in the Cuisinart. Take the skin off, of course. Sometimes you get a clove of garlic that just won't peel. Those are really annoying. This one's pretty good. Okay, so I'm just going to cut these in 4 pieces and put them in there. Oops. And 2 garlic cloves. And then 3/4 cup fresh Parmesan. And I like to typically buy the wedges because you get more for your money. But I looked and looked. I'm going to use my teeth. There. Anyway, I did find the grated. So here we go, 3/4 cup. Oop. There we go. Put that in. And a little bit of salt. Like a half a teaspoon. You can salt to taste afterwards, of course. And pine nuts. These are expensive to purchase, but I think they're worth it. They go a long ways. But when you purchase them, they are raw. So I put them in a fry pan, no oil or anything, and heat them up and brown them. So these are nice and toasty, which is how we like them. And it calls for a 1/2 cup. And you can use walnuts, you can use almonds. Almonds are really good, and I recommend using the slivered, skinless almonds because you don't want that brown skin. That has its own flavor. But again, toast whatever nut you're choosing to use. And here's the pine nuts. And those go in. And let's see, I think I've got everything, and we put the lid on and pulse. I like to pulse it at first, and then as it starts to get more ground up, then I put it on and add olive oil. Wait. This is a new bottle of olive oil, so I should have opened it before we started filming. So we have a 1/2 cup olive oil, and I don't like it really oily, so I'm gonna do almost a 1/2 cup. There. All right, turn it on. You can, as I said, do this in a blender too. And put it in. Okay, lid comes off. Blade. This is a chopper blade for a Cuisinart. Just set that there. And here's my towel. And my spoon. And my bowl. This is my first cooking show. Here it is. And I'm just going to put it in a bowl for now. So, we've got our pesto made, and it looks delicious, and it will be. So, now we're going to make the zoodles. So, let me get everything together for that, and we'll be right back. All right. Now, here's those zucchinis that showed up on my doorstep this morning. But thankfully, we received this spiralizer as a gift. And actually, this isn't something I would probably buy on my own, but my husband's daughter is a real health nut, and she makes zoodles, and you can make things with this, with sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, whatever. So it actually is really a handy, fun little device. So I've got my zucchini. I'm just going to cut off the ends of each and then cut them in half. I should be showing you this. Not like it's complicated or anything, but there are those. And I have a compost bucket that sits by when I'm cooking, and I throw everything in the compost bucket and then throw it out in our compost pile. So, okay, here's our zucchinis. Set that over there and set up the spiralizer. And it comes with different blades. You can attach different blades. This better be the right one. Okay. And you put your zucchini in there and hold it and spiral away. And here they come. I'll let them come out on the plate for you. And I mentioned before you can use pasta, fettuccine, spaghetti, whatever, and rice with your pesto. I like these because they're healthy and abundant this time of year. So you just kind of push on it. There it goes. And they come out. It's real easy. And this is easy to clean too. You just rinse it off pretty much and wipe it with a rag. And then you get this little core, which I put in there. There's that. So I have spiralized 2 smaller size zucchinis, and it looks like a lot, but these shrink down quite a bit. And I have my hot pan heating here. So there's a lot of moisture in zucchini, so I don't add too much olive oil, just a little bit. Like that. And let it heat a bit. Should have had this heating before now, but so let me dump it all in here. Swirl the olive oil around. There they go. Let's see. Another way I use zucchini is I slice it in thin rounds and put some olive oil in and some crushed garlic in the saucepan, and then lay the zucchini on top, and then fresh dill is really good. If you grow dill, it's easy to grow. It comes well from seed, but harvest some fresh dill leaves and sprinkle that on top, and then saute it and turn it and saute it, and then put it on a plate with some fresh Parmigiana. And that's really good too. So this is starting to heat up. It's looking a little translucent. Here's that core. If I weren't on film, I'd probably eat it, but I won't. Here, we'll eat it later. Okay. Okay, you can tell when the zoodles are ready because they have a translucency to them, and they're very soft and they smell good. And so I'm going to turn off the hot plate. And we are even going to try these today. So I'm going to make a couple portions. These are more easily served with a pasta fork. because they are like spaghetti. So we'll see how this goes. So Lindsay is going to try our pesto zoodles with me here in a moment. There's that. There's that. There we go. Whoa! You get some long ones. You can, when you're zoodling, you can cut them too as they come out. I like salt, and I like pepper. And at home I have fresh pepper grinder and salt grinder. So anyway, we'll add a little bit of salt and pepper. And then, here's our pesto. You put a blob on top. Sometimes it's tempting just to go, but I won't do that here. All right, we'll wait for Lindsay to come in here and then we will see how it tastes. And you twirl it like spaghetti.
Oh, that's good.
It's pretty good. I like more salt. Do you?
Actually, it's perfect for me, but. I
don't have a napkin, but so pesto zoodles is great on its own, or it's a great side dish for barbecue chicken or baked fish, baked cod with lemon on the cod, and lemon and the pesto zoodles are really good. So I hope you've let me finish chewing before I talk with my mouth full. I hope you've learned something today, and I hope you can come in and get our recipe and talk about it with us and let us know if you enjoyed it and how yours turned out. So thanks for joining us today. Bye-bye. Now you're cooking.